Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Timberborn. This is update 5, the Badwater update. We're going to go ahead and kick off with the folk tales. And it's just going to start at the top of the list, and I think we'll work our way down. I've been playing on the diorama one in a personal game, and having that much limited space is actually a real challenge. More than I would have thought. Canyon looks like fun. Craters looks really interesting to me. That one looks... There's so many cool maps. But we're going to go ahead and start on lakes, and then we'll maybe work our way through as we go. Maybe not. We'll see. Let's go ahead and try it on hard. Alright, we're going to name this town Roverton. And since we are on hard difficulty, we're going to have to be very careful about over-expanding. Because that's been one of my common mistakes I make. Is I build too much housing and I get too many beavers all of a sudden. And you can see how that could go sideways when all of a sudden you get into a drought season and you have no food left. So first things first, let's look at where the water's coming from. I think our water source is over here? Nope. Let's see here. Blue. Okay, so here's our water source, so it's flowing down this way. Oh, we also have another one here. That's good to know. Okay. I think because of its being lakes, I think that it's not going to flow on power wheels very quickly, which could be a problem. I also think if we were to break this, or break these and fill this area, I think that would then let this fill up, possibly. Unless it could just let it drain off the edge. We have to be careful about that, because then it would flow into here, and that could be a problem. Anyway, let's get started with placing down our lumberjack flag. So we got some birch down here, and we have some pine and birch up here, so I guess we'll start with the lumberjack flags up here. Place one. Yeah, that should be fine there. And then yeah, we'll just place 2 right here for now, starting. Gotta get our paths put in. And then we're going to want to get some berries. And that's going to be under the food. So we'll throw a berry down there. And we'll let them get started with that. For now, we'll go ahead and crank that up to 4. And we'll crank the speed up a touch. Oh yes, we have to designate the trees for chopping. I always forget about that. There's been times I've wondered why these trees haven't been chopped, and then I go and look, and it's because I haven't told them to chop. Go ahead and throw the water pump there. Do that for now. Eventually we'll straighten that out a little bit. Yeah. We're gonna need some power generation. Where do we gotta think about where we want to put this, because that's the thing about the bad water is like during so you have normal seasons, then you have droughts, and then you'll have bad water, where all of the water sources put out bad water, so we need to be able to deflect or at least prevent it from coming down. But on those bad water seasons, we still could use water to generate power. And since our power is generated from water, we're kind of competing for the same ground in use of food, like what, because the water's producing our power, but water's also giving us irrigatable land. So we'll go ahead and throw a farmhouse down there, and then they're going to want us to plant a bunch of carrots. See on the clock up here, you have the day and night, and you can crank up the working hours to make them work 24 hours a day. Probably has some negative effects on their sleep and things like that. So we'll drop it down to back to 16. So we're gonna need places to store water. Do we want to take I think we're gonna build more pumps up in this section. So we'll want to build a dam here, and eventually maybe we'll build one down here for that and subdivide this up so we're pumping water out of a different area than is irrigating our crops. So with that being the case, I think we're going to plan on turning these berries into this berry area into power generation. And the reason for that, I was talking about storage in the tutorial, but the reason for that is it takes 12 days for it to grow and then 12 days to get 3 berries. So that's every 1 day you get 4 food. Whereas for carrots, 4 days for 3 food. So it's more efficient to use carrots rather than the blueberries. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some storage going on here. So we're definitely going to want some small water tanks, and I think we'll just throw these along the main area here since that's dried land. And we'll get a large stockpile. I'm trying to decide if I want a path through there. We'll put it just right up next to it for now. Throw some logs in there, and then we got to make these water. Okay, now that we got all that storage done, now it's time to place some storage for our berries and carrots. And we definitely want to place one maybe here and here, so we have an expanded top level there. If we wanted to, we could spin them around like so. We'll make this one the carrot storage, and then we'll make this one the berry storage since it's right next to the berries for now. And we'll let our busy little beavers keep on being busy. Okay, so we have the drought approaching already, which is definitely early. This is the first time I'm playing on hard. So hopefully, we got 3 days still. Do we have a shorter spot than the others here? It looks like they all move over at the same time, so I don't think we have a super short spot that would be helpful to dam up. So we definitely are going to need to expand our forestry industry here. So let's go ahead and throw down a lumberjack flag down here and make sure we have it designated for chopping. And then we'll also send a pathway up here and throw a flag down. And we're just going to get rid of the tutorial because I feel like it's not designed for this difficulty, so it's going to... I think we have some slightly different priorities. For example, it's going to have us build a house, and I don't think we really need to worry about that as much right now. Let's see, let's clean up this a little bit. We don't need to waste time on those. Now let's see here. We don't have any science yet, so we don't have the levee unlocked, because they take slightly less wood than than the dams do. So I guess for now, we got a 5 spot there, also a 5 spot there, so that's, yeah. How far down can we... I mean, we can expand the road, too. So I guess for now, we'll just throw a... Do we want to bring it... Might as well bring it down here. Let's bring the road... nope. Can't bring the road down there. Good to know. Let's try that again. So we'll just bring the path over here. And yeah, I think we might as well throw it in right there instead. So we'll go ahead and cancel those, and then we'll take the priorities and make this a high priority. Let's see here. You guys are just sitting around waiting for it to grow, so I think I can even pause you. We can make sure we get plenty of beavers here. I'm wondering if we should put a small log storage down here. That might help the builders build a little faster. Also, this is one of those situations that we need to work as long as we can. And once we get some power going, actually, we can do it now. We can cross over here and start harvesting this stuff. Once we get some power, then we can unlock the stairs once we get the planks. And so we can have them actually cross, because, you know, they're beavers, they can swim. And actually, one of their needs is wet fur. One of their basic needs. So you can also accomplish that with things like showers and other things in the well-being. So you got the shower and you have the lido, or however you say that, which also hits, I think some additional well-being, quality of life things. But I think we might be able to get this up just in time. So we have 3 unemployed beavers. Okay. I guess we don't need to pause that then. Unless we do want to pause that and then throw down two more, and then, but that's almost gone. So I guess we can put down. Actually, let's keep that going, but then only have 1. So then as soon as these get built, because they don't take any resources, then we'll keep trying to get as much timber as we can. So I'm going to pause this one and then add another worker over here because we're starting to get harvest. And it looks like we still have 1 unemployed, so I guess we'll get another one to start harvesting that. And they're all crashing from exhaustion, so maybe we want to drop it down to 20, say. They're going to sleep anyway. It's a little nerve-wracking. We're getting close to the end here. One thing that's cool is you can see the water change. So it looks like it's moving slower along the edge and then faster here. You can actually use that to your advantage to, like, here's another good example. If you put a water wheel in this area, it wouldn't be doing much, but if you had a water wheel here, it would be doing quite well. So I think we have enough timber, which is a good sign. So now we just need to make sure we get as many builders as we can. And we'll pause this one up here. Of course, that's where a bunch of the timber is. So make that the high priority. And then they're doing this as fast as they can. I like that the building percentage will go up as the materials come in. We're going to make these guys focused on harvesting, just in case we, for whatever reason, don't get this done. Oh, come on, fellas. Come on, fellas. Let's get this done. Move along. Come on. I don't want the water to all go away. This is where building it up a little closer might have saved some walking time to get it in faster. 3 more. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Okay. So that's a good thing. Let's take a look at our jobs again. We definitely don't need this many lumber flags, and there's not even any lumber left to chop over here, so we'll go ahead and delete those for now. So what are we going to need? We're going to need... We can unpause this one. We're going to need power. And we're going to need research, because we got to get the forester, so we might as well get the research going now. So this is something that we can get away with putting on dry ground, so we want to make the most of that. And then, so for our power, we have a water wheel, but we also have the power wheel, like a hamster wheel. But see, for the plank workshop, it takes 50. So we could do that. We could employ a couple of beavers, and then we could actually have it up here on the dry ground. So let's pause for a second and get this figured out. If we throw you in there, or maybe not there, maybe let's start with the power wheel. So you can see with the power wheel, the blue arrow is the entrance point they need, and then the gear is where the power is going to go. So if we do that and then throw in our lumber mill there, and then we have enough space for a large stockpile for lumber. But we'll make that lower priority. So the downside to doing it this way is it takes 2 beavers to do the job of what would be 1. And now we're out of timber. Yikes. A little bit in there. There was 18 here. If we make that a low priority, but we hit play... No. Okay. I was wondering if the timber still got stuck up there, but it did not. Good news is we now have our inventor running away. And we are still able to... We still have a little bit of water. I'm kind of thinking we might want to pause the water pump for now, just to make sure we don't lose our carrots. And we do have all 3 working there again. We do need to get them some housing figured out soon, but I want to get the forester up and running first. Especially because we have all this ground. I think we'll put pine trees in down here and chop those down. So poplars, or birch, excuse me, are 9 days for 1 log, and then pines are 12 for 2. Chestnuts 24 for 4. No reason to do chestnuts other than to grow chestnuts, which to have as a food source. Maples 28 for 6, so it's a slightly better return, but if you're going to wait that long, you might as well do 30 for 8. But the maples do let you get maple syrup, so you can get fancy food. And who doesn't love some good fancy food? Okay, so we got someone in the power wheel, and we got someone waiting for timber. But it doesn't look like we have any timber left, so we're definitely going to need to get the path here, and then we can use the dam to cross. And then we can assign some more lumberjack flags. And that has plenty to reach all this, so now we can chop these trees down. And for now, we'll just get rid of... Oh, no, we'll leave that. We'll leave that flagged, I guess. There's no reason not to. So go ahead and resume. And we will pause Javad's, or whatever his name is, Jalvad. We'll pause him, his station up there. So that they can, I'm guessing he's going to be down here now, working on these trees. And we do have some oaks, which, again, 8 timber. So now we're just kind of waiting for the dry season to end. And we're going to need to, pretty quick here, prioritize some kind of way, and probably, honestly, just building a floodgate here, and maybe just demolishing one of these would let it, see if that'll let it spill over here, and then dump out that way if we get a bad water. So yeah, so I think that might be the way to go. I wonder if we could do that with levees and dams. Probably, because that's all the same. This is all the same level. So if we demolish that, that would be a good place to start there. So we can come to paths. And then we need a spot for the stairs. Just to make sure they have plenty of way to reach up there. Oh, we lost a little bit too much water, I guess, through evaporation. And we're out of water there too. So that's not great. Thankfully, the water is on its way. So that tells us we're going to want some way to, if we put a dam in here. Yeah, so this is going to be pretty critical by letting this back up. But then we're going to want to put a floodgate in here so we can control when it opens and when it doesn't. First thing we're going to need, though, is stairs at 70 science. There we go. So we'll throw the stair in there. And we're probably going to want to get that put in at on a drought, so we're not losing a bunch of water out that way. I guess, yeah. Now the next thing we need to get, we really do need to get a forester, which is going to be 60 science. Minus 10. Why are we at minus 10, fellas? Thirst. That makes sense. Let's make that a critical priority job. We can probably... We got 5. How much do we need for this? We need 7. So once we get to 7, we can pause the lumber mill. And that'll free up 2 jobs to do other things. One of them probably come down over here. This, we probably don't need 4 workers right now. That's another thing we can do. Looks like we have some more timber up here that is ready, so we can open that up. Okay, do we want to pause that or not? Because I think we do still want to pause the lumber mill and the power wheel, so we can let our timber stockpile build up. And I do think we'll bring it down here once we get the science for it, and we'll have that. Now we want to harvest, or the planting to be prioritized. Now that we have a good selection of carrots in our stockpile, might even be a few too many carrots, but that's okay. One of the things I do run into is I build up so much of a stockpile that then as I expand, I don't realize how fast I'm burning through it. That is a really quick drought. Oh my goodness. Okay. We know this is going to be important. We have 30 timber, so that is enough for 1.5 dams. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4... Let's do it that way. That's a lot. That's still a lot. It's up by 1 and up by 1. Yeah, because we don't have a lot of options right now but to do that. So that's what we'll do. And we will make this the high priority again. And we'll let that run while we are saving up science. But that'll let us store a whole bunch of water up here, unless this drains away somewhere. Does this drain away? Yeah, oh yeah, this mixes with the nasty So it's still going to drain out the back here. So maybe that is less of a priority until we can put something up here. Maybe we do this instead. All the ideas. If we put a dam up here, it's only 4, or we could get away with doing 3. Let's do that and demolish these. And make sure the path gets us close enough, and we'll just extend off that. Then that will force the water to come this way. And then when we put one here, we can put a floodgate here that lets it drain away, drain the bad water away this way. So we do have that properly prioritized. Nope. Let's make sure that's properly prioritized. And is there any trees up here yet? It looks like there is some, so we can make that available as a job. Yeah, so I think we might be okay for this. Although this all looks like it's the same water level, so it might still just flow back this way, which would mean that we would need to dam off this over here, which is a little harder to get to at this precise moment. Oh, this is interesting. Getting some water back here. As you can see, there is a lot to think about and a lot to do with your resource management. And I'm going to go ahead and put another water pump in, I think, but I'll have that on a low priority. And this may be a learning experience in how to play this map on hard, that this may not do anything and really we need to put a dam off over here. But hey, there's one way to find out, and that's to... Well, I guess there's 2 ways. You can have 2 ways to find out. You can either learn yourself or learn from somewhere else. So that's what we're endeavoring to do here. But I think that'll wrap this episode up. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope that you have a great day and you keep smiling.